Welcome to Trail Manners, the podcast so dedicated to mountain trails and running that they broadcast out of a 78 Volkswagen bus in the mountains. Who does that? Eric and Joel are your hosts and will bring you the trail life as you may have not heard it before. You hear about everything from gear reviews, nutrition to keep you upright and moving forward, and they'll even bring guests into the bus for conversations that you won't hear anywhere else. It's time for some running adventures on a higher elevation. The old 78 Volkswagen bus is fired up and headed to the mountains. Here are your hosts for Trail Manners, proudly representing the 801 with their passion and love for the trails. Eric Manning and Joel Hatch.
Welcome to the Trail Manners podcast, episode number 125. This morning, we're going to be talking with the inventor of trail running himself, Mr. Gabe Joyes. So if this is your first time listening, then thanks for coming. The Trail Manners podcast is produced every week for your enjoyment, and show notes are found at trailmanners.com. Come back often, and please feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Trail Manners. All links are in the show notes. Now let's get after it. All right, welcome to another edition of the Trail Manners podcast. We are at Stoked Roasters Coffee House in Park City, Utah on Main Street. And I'm going to go out on a limb here. We've got this is our 125th episode, got over 100 single track sessions. This is the earliest we've recorded a show. Am I going to think you're right on that one?
I think you're on.
I'm going for it.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm right. If we're not right on recording, I woke up this morning about 4:50 a.m.
I got up at 5.
Okay, so this is the earliest. We're up in Park City, Utah. We have a two-time guest, and those of you that know, this is the inventor of trail running. And if you don't know, you'll have to listen to the previous show he was on. We have Gabe Joyes with us. Gabe, how are you this morning?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me, guys. Thanks for getting up early.
Yeah, no problem. It's our pleasure, and I'm trying to be nice about that because when Joel said, hey, we're doing a show with Gabe, I'm like, right on, because we loved talking to you before, and then he told me when and where. I'm like, are we sure? I mean, did we get this right?
Yeah.
Is this mountain
Is that
time?
typo?
Is this mountain time?
Yeah,
Hawaii
right.
time?
Hawaii time.
Because then it would be later in the day, I'm assuming. Yeah. But no, it's awesome. Gabe's from, I almost fell back in my chair here. We're got a different chair here. Gabe came over from Wyoming, get a little family getaway for the weekend, so we're happy to talk to him. We've got a lot to talk about, not a ton of time. I don't know, where should we start? 2018?
Yeah, I think we can talk about what he
has
done.
Up to? What you been up to this year, Gabe?
I've been up to kind of a lot this year. Most recently, just a couple weeks ago, me and Trevor Fuchs, we went and did the Teton Crest Trail over in Grand Teton National Park, and was able to get the F.K.T. on that and have ourselves a good little adventure. That was the most recent thing. Before that, I did Wasatch 100 just a few weeks before that, and then I did Bighorn 100 in June, and then I did Orcas Island 100 back in February.
Right, and then you also have a race you direct.
Yes, and then I already did the Sinks Canyon Rough and Tumble Trail Runs, which is the third weekend in June.
And that's one that we've been fortunate enough to go out to a couple of years ago. Not last year, but the year before. Super cool area.
Oh, yeah.
It was my first time really, I mean, I know
in
a lot.
In the Sinks Canyon area?
Yeah, it was amazing.
I like it.
The little park that I slept in the night before.
That was fun.
That park is pretty cool.
Park's hopping all summer long.
And I got a really cool shirt at the Iris.
Wild Iris?
Wild Iris.
Yeah.
I got a good memory for early
You do?
in the morning.
That's good.
Got a cool shirt there. Awesome course. Fun time. And
course is only getting better too. We got rid of that whole road section that almost broke you.
Oh yeah, that was.
It's gone. We have a fresh, brand new single track that connects those two trailheads that the road used to connect. So
that was tough.
Yeah.
That road because it's near the end of the race, right?
Yeah.
And you just come off some gorgeous trail to a lake, and I think it was your soccer team was there at that aid station, and they're like, oh yeah, it's just around the corner.
Oh, you know how that is.
That corner was the longest damn corner.
Yeah, don't listen to them. Yeah.
And then some guy actually decided to take some Forest Service flagging.
I remember that.
Across the road up some super steep hill. And I'm like, I was yelling at him because I knew that wasn't where you're supposed to go. I'm like, whatever, dude, you're go have fun.
Yeah.
But no, that was a great race. And we'll have a link to the Rough and Tumble because it is a cool race in Lander.
Right.
Third weekend in June. But this year it looks like you've done some hundreds.
Yep.
Did you do anything besides hundreds, or is that kind of your jam?
I really wanted to focus on 100-milers this year.
Is there a reason for that? I mean, you got some plans for 2019, or you just
I really
trying to
like
dial
them.
it in? Yeah.
It's part of it, and I think I was kind of frustrated with myself the last couple of years where I've had some good results in hundreds.
Hard Rock, right?
Hard Rock went well and stuff. 2017.
Third place?
Fourth place.
Fourth place.
And we can say third. But
I just did third.
yeah.
I told somebody else he's been on the podium.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
when you just take out, Killian,
big's the podium?
He doesn't count,
Yeah,
right?
true,
You just
right?
know he's going to win. So
yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like I took third after Killian.
Yeah.
Oh,
Point, see?
that's a group. That's going to be a new
that
thing.
needs to be a shirt.
Oh, that's awesome. That'd be the coolest shirt ever.
Yeah, it would be. So, and I had a few frustrating DNFs, and so I've had some good 100-milers, and so I was like, all right, this year I was sort of dedicated to I want to do a good job at 100-milers, and I want to get the distance dialed in. I wanted to finish all three well, and not like crawling across the finish line, and it went pretty well.
So tell me a little bit, because we got a lot to cover, and again, not a ton of time. Tell me a little bit about Orcas Island, because I want to run there, and I've looked at a few 50K, 50-mile distances there because I don't want to get wrecked and I want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Maybe ride a whale while I'm there, whatever. Tell me about Orcas Island.
That place is magical.
Yeah.
I had never been to the Pacific Northwest before, so I was there with like very fresh eyes, and I was coming there. People talk about when I was there. People would tell me it was gonna be really cold. It was like in the 40s, which
for boy.
Yeah, for a Wyoming dude coming to in February, I was like, wow.
It's like, man, I'm glad I brought my tube top.
Warm. Yeah, right. It felt like warm and wonderful, and everything was so green and like lush, and it didn't rain like at all. The weekend I was there, it was like a nice mix of clouds and sun, which I guess isn't the norm I hear. That race packs a punch. It has like 27,000 feet of climbing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's legit. The trails are, for the most part, fairly like smooth though, and so like even some of the climbing was pretty steep. You could still run a lot of it, just because the grades of the trails and stuff, they were okay. There was one climb, and it's kind of infamous there, called the Power Line Climb. That was a pretty good hike. That was steep for sure. And that course is 4 laps, which normally I would be against that sort of thing. But
yeah.
I didn't mind it at all because, I'd never been there before, and it was so new. And so, like, it was almost nice going through the same areas over and over again. So I could see stuff I felt like I had missed the first time. Going there different times of day. It looked different, sunrise looked different than the afternoon, which looked different than sunset, and looked different than the middle of the night. So, yeah, normally I wouldn't do laps anywhere like that, but it was totally cool.
And that was a rain shadow run, so that was James Varner's races.
Yeah, so everything was awesome.
Yeah, James does a great job.
They were wonderful. I mean, it was basically a flawless race, like that was put on. They were great.
And anybody that listens to the show knows I'm a huge fan of the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
I went to Bellingham in May.
Yeah.
And just ridiculous.
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
If I ever leave Wyoming, that's where I want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the bitter cold Pacific Northwest.
I don't think my wife wants it. She's like, it's rainy. I'm like, but it's not negative 30.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like I don't have mustache sickles in the Pacific Northwest on average.
It doesn't hurt to breathe. It's so cold.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And the air's so crisp, too, and clean.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I would like to go race there again. But
I'd like to go race there once at least. Because I think, I was talking about it's fun to go places because you've just come back from the Teton Crest Trail and do these fun runs. But, it'd be fun to go up there and do a race.
Yeah.
For me anyway, up in the Pacific Northwest. All right, so you did Orcas, and then what was the next one you did was Bighorn. So the Bighorn 100 is out and back, right?
Yep.
Was it muddy again this year?
Yeah, it was really muddy. That was brutal. It started out not so muddy, but then it like hailed I don't want to exaggerate, but I feel like it accumulated like almost an inch of hail at one point. And then that melted, and that just like annihilated the trails. And I had sprained my ankle like 4 or 5 days before Bighorn. It was like my last
playing soccer.
No, running. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No,
soccer.
I was doing my last I don't know, it was like an 8-mile run or something like that, and I was on my way down like a mile from my car, and I hit my ankle hard. It was not good at all. And so running on that mud for 100 miles with an ankle that was like so loose and floppy it was really hard.
It's like running with a flipper on your foot.
It was terrifying. Some of the hills I sort of like almost like hopped down on one foot. Like it was.
Oh my goodness!
It was not good. It took a long time to recover from that, just because I compensated so hard and was trying not to re-sprain it, and I was all taped up, and so that was really hard physically. But great race. Bighorn's always good. I mean, that was my second time doing that.
Was it muddy the first time you did it too?
No, it was hot as blazes.
Really?
It was so
that
hot
race
the first
is so
time.
weird because it seems like it's hot or
It's muddy.
It does.
Yeah, there's nothing
and it
in
was
between.
No.
So hot the first time I did it. And so that's what I was like all prepared for. I did all this like heat training. I was like ready for the heat, and then it was like 50
cold and
rainy.
muddy.
It was like Pacific Northwest weather.
Nice. I'm debating because I'd like to do that one or Black Hills.
Yeah.
Either one of them is a 50.
Bighorn.
But see, that's what I hear. But Black Hills is closer to Mount Rushmore,
Well, that's what he wants to do.
and I want to take my daughter up there.
To Bighorn.
Do
Bighorn's so
Bighorn
cool.
and then
'Cause,
drive
like,
over.
The Bighorn 50 is cool. That was my first like ultra, and it's pretty cool because you like literally drive to the top of the mountain, and it's amazing up there. And there's like elk bugling, and there's still like some snow.
There
and
you
then
go.
you run down to Dayton, and it's just I don't know, it's cool. I mean, I think the Black Hills are neat, but I think they got nothing on the Bighorns. That's just my 2 cents.
See, I'm still torn because I've been talking to people. Bryce Warren told me same thing. Bighorn.
Yeah.
Phil Lowry's like Black Hills.
Oh,
And
Phil's weird.
And Black Hills, the weather usually seems to be good. It's closer to Mount Rushmore, so I don't have to drive as far from that.
Aren't there a lot of bugs over there?
I don't know. I don't know much about either, to be honest with you. I just know Bighorn. I've always wanted to run it,
Right.
but I've always heard it's always bad weather.
Yeah, bad weather on either ends. Hot or muddy.
Yeah.
There's
there
nothing
is
in
that.
between.
Not that there can't be at Black Hills, don't get me wrong, but it's like if I go, I want to enjoy it.
The
you know?
Bighorns, I think, and I haven't done the Black Hills race, but like definitely more of a mountain run. You know, if you want like that mountain experience, I think that's what you'd get.
Okay. Well, I'm still on the fence, but that's good to know for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
And then you come home, and Rough and Tumble was the next weekend, right? So you had like a couple days to recover from hopping down a mountain to putting on your race.
Yeah, that's how it worked.
So
It's
how is your race Rough and Tumble going? I mean, are you
good.
seeing some growth year to year?
It's growing every year. We had, between the 3 distances, we had 140 participants this year, I think it was. I expect it to be even bigger this year. It seems like every year we're just gaining people. And we've got Spring Energy is going to be the official sponsor of the race this year, so we're going to have Spring Energy gels at all the aid stations.
Wow, that's worth going.
Yeah, right? I know. That's going to be awesome. So
I would eat my entrance fee in just their gels.
So that'll be good. And then we've got a local coffee roaster, a Speed Goat coffee roasting in Lander, Wyoming. They're going to be doing coffee for all the racers too. And
will they fill my hydration vest with it?
We could probably talk with Greg about that. Greg at Speed Goat Coffee, and it's good. So between those two sponsors for the race, and we got new single track. If folks have enjoyed the race before, it's going to be better this year for sure. So
let me ask you this, because Lander's not, I don't want to say easy accessible, but it's not like a Salt Lake City. It's not like a
Boulder,
right? So what are your challenges with getting folks there? I mean, you probably get a good local group, right, from Lander.
We don't. We get people have been using it as like a destination race.
Okay,
right
it's
on.
like a vacation.
Yeah.
Like, we've actually been getting. I didn't know people did this, but there's like a whole crew of people out there who are like trying to run an ultra in every state. And there's not many to pick from in Wyoming. So, we were going to do Bighorn and we were going to do Rough and Tumble. So we chose Rough and Tumble.
That's a good distance you guys got, too. Then.
So Rough and Tumble have what distances?
We got a 50K, and then it's, 18K, I think, now? Or we've changed it a couple times. It's somewhere right around there. And then we've got like I think it's a 6K, 4K, 5K.
So it's kind of something for everybody.
Exactly.
Right?
So we have kind of like that introductory race. You know, if you want to get your feet wet and try a little trail running and run with your kids, whatever, we've got that one. We got the one that's the 18K. You know, it takes you up to the top of Sinks Canyon and back down. If you want to get your legs a good workout, or if you want to have get your full value experience, come to the 50K and you get to see a little bit of everything.
And you get some whiskey.
There's some whiskey hidden on the course.
I remember that.
I did
too. I have that.
Right on that first climb.
butt kicker of a climb.
Yeah, it's a good
It's
spot
like
for
sitting
it,
right on a rock by a fence, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Who drinks whiskey this early?" Until I got there, I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have a little
Welcome
bit of
to
this."
Wyoming.
Yeah, I'll have a little bit of this. Yeah, right. It's everywhere. But no, that is.
Cheerios.
But that was one of my questions, like, because it's not. It is. I like the destination style because Lander's beautiful. It's a wonderful town. There's a lot to do. You're kind of still close. You can get into Jackson.
Yep.
You can get into Pinedale.
I think a lot of people
really
do that.
cool
They
spots.
tie it in with it's like a short road trip where they hit up Lander, they go through Yellowstone, go through the Tetons, and then go home or whatever it is. And people seem to be pretty psyched with that experience. So
I bathed in the river after the race, right
Good.
across the road, because there wasn't as many people there.
Yeah.
Because when I bathe, I get into it, man. I don't
do.
just like dunk
Shorts
my
off.
face. It's like, hey, nature, what's up? You know?
Good.
And that's a good place to do it. So,
Fresh.
and like I said, we'll have a link to that because it is a good race, and I can speak definitely from experience on that. Beautiful course. Even with the road, I mean, it was still
the road
amazing.
was one of the prettiest sections of the course. You see those big views of like the crest of the range and stuff. But now you get that from a.
I had my head down the whole time.
Oh, you missed it, man! If you
I was
look
like,
behind
gosh,
you would have.
Oh, I looked behind
Panorama.
me a lot. I was just waiting for someone to pass me. I just kept looking to see if someone was going to come running by me, like somebody with a stroller or something. And then after that, then it was on to Wasatch, right?
And I tried an F.K.T. before that, too. I tried doing the Wind River High Route F.K.T. with Jeff McGavero. Are you guys familiar with that route?
I am not.
You described it. I think the last time that you were on the show, you described it. It's a
crazy.
long traverse.
Yeah, it's a really long traverse. It's like not really runnable, but you start from Trail Lakes Trailhead, which is near Du Bois, and you basically follow the crest of the route as closely as you can without being in like overly technical terrain, all the way down to Sinks Canyon, and you hit up the northernmost and southernmost 13er of the range. So Downs Mountain's the most northern 13er, and Wind River Peak is the most southern 13er, but it's tons of rock hopping and scrambling and glacier travel and stuff like that. So Jeff and I weren't able to finish the route because I broke through some snow and fell and cracked my rib on a boulder.
Yeah.
And that was a real drag. It actually still hurts a little bit.
That was a drag, busting my ribs in the mountain.
It was a long hike out. Let me tell you, it was not fun. No, seriously though, that was back in July, and if I sneeze hard, I still feel it. So,
Really?
Yeah. I really am ready for that to be over with.
Just don't sneeze.
I know. I had like fall allergies though, and it was just brutal.
Oh.
It was like every time I thought I was like getting almost better, and then I'd have
You'd
these sneezing
re-crack it.
fits, and I'm not even kidding. It was horrible. My kids would see me like covering my nose. They'd be like, "Dad, don't sneeze, don't do it." I'm like, "I'm trying."
It's like Dad's going to sneeze, then he's going to cry.
Yeah.
This is like a vicious cycle.
But
we
I
keep
think that
going
there's,
through.
if you hold those sneezes in, I think it cuts off years of your life. I think
It
there's
might.
a study.
I held on a lot of sneezes this year
Yeah.
because I always get the fall allergies, and I got pretty good at like stifling that. I
Yeah.
would like hug my ribs and like hold my
Right.
breath. And
So you get like a quarter sneeze out.
I would get like nothing out,
Yeah.
which was strangely like dissatisfying.
It is, right?
You just want to like let it go,
If we're going to do it, let's do it.
You can
Let's
only
get it
hold
out.
things in for so long,
Oh, yeah, long road trips, we know, right? Yeah. We're talking about something else there. All right, so then we moved on. We're still in 2018, and
Then it was Wasatch.
Wasatch.
Yeah. And
That was an interesting race
It
to
was.
watch online.
Yes.
it was an interesting run too.
Yeah.
Fast crew that went out hard in the beginning, and
Did you get stung by any bees at the first?
No.
You just woke them up. You're the one that woke them up, right?
Yes, I didn't see any bees.
Yeah, you probably went through early and woke them up. for the
He was the
people
first
behind you.
through, so didn't have any
I
worries.
tucked behind some guys for a while, and I had two missed turns. One of them was all my fault. I just missed a turn. Actually, Trevor told me a truck was parked in front of the sign. I don't know if that's true. I don't know, but I missed one turn, and then there's another turn near Lamb's Canyon where there was absolutely no flag, and that was really frustrating. And I was running with a dude, I forget his name. He was from Salt Lake, and he told me he'd scouted the course. He had the GPS file on his watch, and he was like, "It's this way, man, I promise." And I was like, "Okay."
Uh-oh. Where was it, going up Lambs Canyon Road to take that right by the bathrooms? To go up over at Bear Ass Pass?
I don't know. So, like, it's when you're getting we were maybe like a mile or so from the aid station.
Oh, from Lambs, so after Alexander?
Yeah, after Alexander.
Yeah,
And so, like, just before you get to that frontage road, there's apparently this little right turn.
Yep,
that
up,
you gotta
going
take.
up through the woods.
Yeah, and it was not marked. You know, I didn't even see it, and so we got to that frontage road, and I was like, man, this does not look right. But I got lost in that area last time I did it, so I didn't know it was right, and I was like, this is not right. He's like, no, man, my watch says this is on. I was like, okay. So we ran down to the aid station, and then the aid station captain came out and, like, yelled at us right away. It was like, you have to go back. And I was like, that's what I thought. Yeah, and so I had been out of water for, like 5-10 minutes before that. Was, like, just ready to kind of, like, slow down and take a break, but I was okay. But then we had to turn around and, like, run a mile back uphill on the blacktop, and then we went wandering around trying to find this turn, and a volunteer from the aid station came out, and he had a cone. He couldn't find the turn either. And
were you guys the first ones through there?
We had been the first ones through there, so
Gotcha.
we were just wandering around, like, with the three of us trying to find this turn, and then I found this turn, and I saw that there was a footprint there, and I was like, I'm just taking it.
Did you ever verify that the people that you got lost with were runners, or were they just people trying to get you lost?
Yeah,
Yeah, right?
I believe they were runners. So, then I ran to the aid station, and I got there, and by that point, I was just cooked. I'd been out of water for kind of a long time. It was kind of hot. I'd had some stomach problems earlier in the morning, so things were kind of never the same after that, after bonus miles and heat, and I had some rough miles for a while after that, but I just kind of kept on moving, but just pretty slow, and slogged it into the finish, so got her done, though. Got the Crimson Cheetah just by a little bit, so
that's awesome.
That's what I really wanted.
The red buckle.
Yeah, I think these are the coolest buckles
those
in
are
ultra
cool,
running.
huh?
They
I
are.
like the Crimson Cheetah, so that was a goal of mine for sure to get that. So, yeah, that was that. Glad I finished. So that was the goal, right? I wanted to finish 300s this year, so
Right.
that was sort of like quitting definitely crossed my mind during Wasatch after a couple wrong turns.
But then you knew you just have
and
to
I was like,
put in for another 100.
I was like, I can't do that.
Year.
I was like, I don't want to come do this race again. And I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. That's what I thought in the moment, though. I was like, there's no way I'm doing Wasatch ever again. Was what I felt.
Was
like
that
in the
your
moment.
second
It was
time?
my second time doing it. And the first time I did DNF after a wrong turn and injury and some of that stuff. So I was like, no, it's getting done.
It's getting this over with.
Got it done.
Check it off the list. Move on.
Yeah.
Hell with that.
Yep.
That way you can sign up for I'm Tough or something like that next year.
that one does look kind of cool.
Or the 10 away.
Yeah, with the
The
what?
Tien away. What is
Oh,
that?
that one looks
What's
awesome.
that?
It's up the first year up in Washington, and it looks amazing. And it had for its first year huge positive reviews too.
Yeah.
Where in Washington?
Up
yep.
by Leavenworth.
Right in
Oh,
the
heck
Washington
yeah.
Somewhere in that
area.
area.
Right in the Washington
September?
area.
Yeah, right. September.
Somewhere there in the upper left corner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I think
exactly.
It's like if you grab a map, it's in the Washington area.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sticking to that right
It
now.
might Methow.
Methow.
You know where that's
METHOW.
at? There's a valley up there. It's supposed to be pretty rad.
Yeah,
I've been to Orcas Island. That's it.
Okay, gotcha.
It's not by Orcas Island.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
not
it's
in the
not away.
ocean.
Okay, right on.
But yeah, it looks
that sounds-
amazing.
Anyway, so
I'm
if you don't
gonna
want to
check
hang
that
out with the grizzly bears, maybe go up and check that one out.
Hang out
sounds
the
really good.
Hanging out with the Sasquatch.
You said September?
Yeah.
September 100?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It looks amazing. Seriously.
Yeah, it does. Looks good.
Shoot. I told my wife I wouldn't do a September 100 next year.
Well, just tell her you.
Well, I
did
told
not-
her probably not. I think
There
I'll
you
be, yeah. I did give myself a little bit of an out.
Yeah, there you
So
go. That's
I
right.
don't know, we'll see.
That looks pretty legit.
It does.
How about the bear?
You've
No,
done the bear.
I've done the bear, but I did the bear. My first 200s were the bear.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so actually, that's been on my to-do list to go back and
Go back,
do again with kind of some
reminisce.
fresh eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I definitely would like to do that, but
That's
maybe-
like basically not doing 100 for you.
Yeah, well,
Right? I mean, you've done it a couple times.
no, I would.
You know
I would
the
actually love
course.
to see it again. But yeah, I like that course. I like everything about it. I've just want to check out other places, but definitely, it's just lower on the priority list. And I don't know. There's so many good things to do in September, right? There's lots of races.
Yeah.
And it's like
Lots of
perfect
adventure
time to
runs.
adventure. Is
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
that's
so,
an adventure run month for
I
this
think
area.
so,
I
too.
think.
It's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially if the snow holds off a little bit.
if we get any.
Yeah, if you get any. Yeah.
So
True.
speaking of adventure runs in September, Trevor is an awesome dude,
Yep.
and he started some garbage cleanup in our
Yeah,
area. So
I've
he
seen
came back
that.
right after the Teton run. I think it was like the very next day we had a garbage cleanup.
Yeah, I
so he
couldn't believe
talked
he
to
did
us
that.
about it. So tell us about that. The Teton Crest Trail. By your recollection, it's like 40 miles.
Yeah, 40 miles. Like my watch had it like a hair under 40, but yeah.
Okay. The old F.K.T., according to the website, with proof was like 750.
Yeah.
Non-proof, which means it didn't have like Strava or GPS linked up, was like 743.
I think that's how it was. Yeah.
Something like that. And you went out and did it in 739.
Yeah, so Trevor and I definitely wanted to make sure we got underneath all those times.
Right.
Just to be safe.
Yep. And we ended up moving up our date for the run because there was like, we were going to do it, we did it on a Wednesday. And like the next day on that Thursday, there was a big snowstorm forecasted to come in and drop like a foot of snow on the Tetons. And so we're like, okay, we should probably, move it up. But it was windy and cold, and we ended up not getting any snow. We had a little bit of rain at the beginning, but it wasn't too bad. It was beautiful, though. I mean, like late fall in the Tetons is just
magic.
Just magic.
I
So
can
magic.
imagine.
It was so good. And so the wind was coming out of the north, which was a little bit of a bummer because we were running south to north. So we like literally ran into a strong headwind the whole day. And so that was kind of tiring. But we had a good time. We bumped into a big old mountain lion. That was pretty cool. Everyone was telling us to watch out for bears. And
So you bumped into, like, excuse me.
Like,
I'm in a hurry.
practically, we were coming down this little drainage and in the trail, which was going to go down and cross the drainage near Marion Lake. And then the trail goes back up on the other side of the drainage, and just right across this little ravine from us was just a big old mountain lion standing there. And, Trevor in his, like, laid-back style is like, whoa, a mountain lion. I was like, oh, my God, there's a mountain lion.
You're like, oh, my God, and he's like, cool.
Like, no joke. And it's just staring at us, and we're staring at it, and it looked scared. Like when you see like a stray cat that looks terrified.
Yeah.
That was the look. And so
It
it
has
immediately
look, that's
started going,
good.
which was really great. So it was kind of cool. We could like enjoy the experience and not be like panicking. So it started running away, and then it like stopped for a second, looked back, and I tried to grab my phone and take a picture, and I started running again, and I have this video where you can see this like speck move for like a half second.
Kind of like a Bigfoot video.
It's pretty much like a Bigfoot video. So, but that was really cool to see because I've seen mountain lions at night before, which is really scary, and you don't really even get to see them. It's like seeing a ghost almost,
Yeah.
And so just to see like just broad daylight standing there, not that far
cool.
away, it was super cool. So that was almost like a highlight of the run for me. But yeah, we took lots of pictures. And
now, when you're going for an F.K.T., that's probably not the most advised thing to do, right?
Take pictures.
Video.
That's
That's what
caught
Trevor.
up in the moment, though,
'Cause
right?
I'm like, you guys are taking. I'm like watching videos of you guys. I'm like,
Messing
what's
around.
going on?
Yeah,
you guys
you know
going
what-
for
you
this?
know
or
what?
what?
Stop for some tea.
Yeah, I know. Let's have some
goal
matcha.
number one was to have
Yeah.
fun and like have a good time. And yeah, we were like, I don't know, we were moving pretty well and feeling like fine about our pace and stuff. And then we got to, I think it was Hurricane Pass, which is just a wonderful spot. I don't know if you've ever been there, but gosh, the scenery doesn't get better than Hurricane Pass. And we started looking at our watches, doing a little math, and we're like, oh.
Yeah, because you have one big old climb after that.
We probably need to hurry up a little bit.
Yeah.
And so then we moved well down to Cascade Canyon, and then
That's
up.
beautiful.
Oh, so good, right?
Lots of water.
Yeah,
in that part
man.
of the canyon.
Yep, so good. And then started climbing pretty hard up to the Paintbrush Divide, and Trevor started having some of his like breathing issues that he had during Wasatch. I don't know if some of his vocal cords or something. Something's not quite right in his lungs, vocal cords, or whatever. So, but he was still moving well, and we got up the Paintbrush Divide, and we had like, I think it was, I might be getting these numbers wrong, but we had like 70 minutes to get down to break the F.K.T., and it's like 8 miles with like 4,000 feet of descent, and it's like super, you start out going through some scree fields, technical and stuff like that. I was like, all right, man, if we're going to do this, like.
So when you throw in the mouthpiece and the helmet and just
time
go
to giddy
for
up.
it.
Yeah, it was that kind of thing. So, took in some calories and started running hard. And it was actually really fun, though. Hey, so that is cool. Kind of gave it like the end of a race sort of feel because we were just like running our brains out. And, so it was super fun. And I got just a couple minutes ahead of Trevor, and then, just absolutely pushing it at the end to try to get underneath that F.K.T. And then Trevor missed a critical turn at the end.
Yeah.
Which
Down by String Lake?
Yep, the String Lake turn. He went towards, what's the other? Lee Lake.
Lee Lake, yeah.
Yep. And so that made it not quite possible for him to get underneath the F.K.T. And so even though I'd only been I could have been more than a couple minutes ahead of him, I was able to squeeze under near there at 7:39. And he came in another, I don't know, it was 10, 15 minutes later, just looking a little irritated.
Why didn't you leave a Skittle trail?
Yeah, exactly.
And when I made that turn, I was like, I hope he
sees that.
But like, I wasn't, at that point, you're literally like a mile and a half.
Right, and those signs are not big there.
And it was like, and I'd been like practically sprinting on the mountain. I wasn't going to stop and wait, like it wasn't. So that was kind of a bummer how that worked out in the end, but it's just kind of how it worked out. But like we had said all along, our goal was to have fun and have a good run, and that's what we did. And FKTs are cool and stuff, but really, we'll remember a good run in the mountains.
It's my new thing. My 2019 hashtag is going to be FGT. Freaking good time.
I like that.
That's going to be my thing. I'm going for FGTs all of 2019. Right. Friggin' really good time. Because we talked to Trevor when he got back, and he was still all smiles.
Yeah,
like
he had a good time.
He didn't even care.
Yeah.
His demeanor. In fact, the funniest thing he said to me that I would still laugh at to this day is I think it was August or end of July. I went up and did the Teton Cirque.
Oh, right on.
And we spent a lot longer. Because we took a ton of photos, ton of video.
It's hard not to.
It was impossible.
Like,
even when we went, the colors, the wildflowers were just banging. But
right.
We got down Cascade. I hit with bear spray. Just normal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, we couldn't find anywhere to eat because everything was closed.
Yeah, because they rolled into town at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. And so I told Trevor that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you think you had a hard time? Try and find a place for a celiac and a vegan to eat."
Yeah, exactly.
It was tricky.
I started rolling like, "Oh, that's a joke." It's like, so a celiac and a vegan walk into a bar.
Yeah.
We did find a place though.
That's what he said. I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Liberty Burger, I think.
Wow.
Liberty Burger, yeah.
Huh. And they could seat both of you.
They saw you guys coming.
Yep. It was great. They had like some sort of bean burger or chickpea burger or whatever that Trevor liked, and I got my burger with like nice gluten-free bun. And the bun was mediocre. But they had sweet potato fries and that from a gluten-free fryer, and I was like, game on, we can eat here.
So that's what I took away from the whole story.
Because the Lotus Cafe closed.
Yeah, they did. They were having some problems, like legal problems.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
Like they didn't pay their employees.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, I found that out like the night before because that was going to be our go-to for a celiac and a vegan, and then my buddy who lives up there was like, they closed. And,
good luck.
And we were floored. We're like, oh man, what are we going to?
I know, right? You would think in Jackson they would be able to accommodate you too somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I figured in that town.
Liberty Burger got the job done.
It was either that or Maverick, right?
Maverick. Oh my gosh,
they've got a whole
they got a great vegan section there.
Right. Frozen food in the Whole Grocer or something.
Or you can just go through
which is cool. I like Whole Grocer.
I like the Whole Grocer.
You can go through the sandwich in the Maverick. You can go through the sandwich bar and just get like the lettuce, the tomato, the pickle, the condiment bar.
Yeah. Do you mean the hot dog bar?
Yeah.
I don't eat it though.
Just minus the Bahama Mama.
Oh my gosh, the Bahama Mama.
Can I get a Bahama Mama with everything? Hold the Bahama Mama.
Yeah.
And you just get all the veggies. No bun.
So on this Teton Crest Trail, you guys started at the south end, which is at Phillips Lake, right? And then you run all the way over the Paintbrush Canyon and come out at String Lake.
Yep.
Correct. And you figure 10,000 feet of climbing?
Strava told me like 10.5.
10.5.
So
that's pretty stout.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
So that Phillips Lake section, once you come out of it and you start getting up on the crest, that's really remote over there.
Yeah, it is.
Like there's not a whole lot of action of hiking going on over there.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet.
I think that's actually drops into the Jedediah Wilderness kind of section. Yep. And that's since there's not so many people over there, that area was a little spooky.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
I'm pretty used
to
that.
Spooky as in wildlife scare.
Well, yeah, that, and it's just so remote.
I guess.
I mean, for
compared
you,
to the Wind River High Route, it's not remote at
No,
all.
it's not. I mean, there's definitely levels of comparison.
Right.
But, compare it to the rest of the Crest Trail.
Right. There's hikers around and stuff.
Oh, yeah. There's generally always going to be a hiker within 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think we saw one or two hikers in the first
section.
The first section, and then we saw a handful in like at the Cascade Canyon area. But otherwise, it's pretty quiet.
Was it? Wow.
Yeah. So it was kind of a few people were out backpacking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, have you seen the weather forecast?
Yeah, exactly right.
Did you bring your mucklucks?
Yeah, exactly. But they had to get in
it's about to nuke here tomorrow.
You see anybody back in the Alaska Basin?
We did. We saw. I think it was one guy backpacking back there, and I was like, "All right, man, good luck."
I'll tell you, when I did the Teton Cirque, that really got me into wanting to backpack again.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, we weren't
fun.
like going for an F.K.T., but we were moving through there. But
Right.
I thought, man, this would be so cool to have a day camp, put up a hammock,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
just hang out, maybe do a day run. That was my first experience in the Teton zone. I just have been wanting to go back. It's only been a month and a half, but it's
Yeah.
like that place
So
is
good.
amazing.
That's always the hard thing, right? You know, it's just fun to go fast, and you can see a lot of terrain, but obviously you can get a closer look when you move a little bit slower. Sometimes, you know, sometimes people get critical. They're like, what's the rush? You know,
Right.
I'm like, well, I mean, Trevor and I both took a day off of work. That's what we had. Like, we drove up the night before, and
Right.
like we both got to the Tetons like 10 o'clock Tuesday night, and I slept in my truck, and he slept in his van, and we both had to be back to work Thursday morning. So
Right.
that's the rush.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
got to keep my job.
You know,
exactly.
So it was like, an F.K.T. is perfect for what life could accommodate. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, all right, let's see a lot, let's go fast, let's have fun, let's run hard. We both,
So, is there any other F.K.Ts up in the Tetons you think you might go for?
you know, there's the circumnav that a lot of people do too. That
Right.
interests me a little bit less because it's a lot of running on the Valley Trail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, there's obviously the Grand. That doesn't interest me a
No,
lot.
but you need to think about more like, okay, I'm going to do the Cirque and then go climb the Grand afterwards.
Yeah. Oh.
It's like a trail runner's picnic. You know what the picnic is,
I
right?
do know about the picnic.
Yeah.
I just watched a video about the picnic with my kids.
Yeah.
Like, my 6-year-old's like inspired, wants to do it.
Really?
I was like, well,
Well, she likes swimming.
let's wait. She does like swimming.
Yeah.
And she actually told me to stop talking because she was really interested in the video.
That's awesome.
I know,
love
it is awesome.
Daddy
It's
shout.
also a little terrifying.
Dad, can you be quiet?
Yeah.
She's like, Dad, stop talking. I'm really interested in this one. I was like, okay.
All right.
Like,
I mean, I know, obviously, because I'm well-versed, but for the listeners that don't know, what's the picnic?
the picnic. So what do you start at the square in Jackson?
Yeah, the downtown Jackson.
You ride your bike to Jenny Lake.
Yep. So that's 20 miles?
I don't
Somewhere
know.
in that. Let's just say 20-ish.
Sure.
Miles.
You swim across Jenny Lake.
Yep.
Which
is a mile and a half, I believe.
looks awful.
Yeah.
And then you.
And you're
run-
towing. You got to tow your gear with
Yep,
you.
you got to bring your gear with you.
Yeah, you got to tow
Like
it
a
in the
dry bag.
water. Yeah.
And then you get out and you run and climb up the Grand,
Right.
and you go back down, and then you do it, and you swim back across Jenny Lake.
Go
and then
back the same way you came?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
See, I was just kidding. I didn't know what the picnic was.
Yeah.
And that absolutely doesn't sound like a picnic.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't think I want to do it, but I think
No.
my 6-year-old will.
Yeah, exactly.
In due time.
You'll crew her.
Well, I'll crew her. Totally.
What about like Cascade Canyon, Paintbrush, stuff like that?
I've done that loop before. It's a great loop.
right. Stuff like that. Stuff that's maybe not like the really
Yeah.
big ones.
I don't know if
but
there's an established F.K.T. for that, is there?
you can. That's you.
I could establish it, true.
You could totally.
Is there protocol for that?
I don't
Like
know. I bet you on
establishing
the
an FKT?
website
I
there
don't know.
probably
I think you
is.
just go to the F.K.T. website and say, I want to. I mean,
So-
hopefully it's like kind of a legit route. I put the Wind River Peak route
Right.
on there, and since then a few folks have gotten it.
You can go you can go Death Canyon over to String Lake,
Man, I love Death Canyon.
right? So you could do that one.
Yep.
Right.
You
So-
could definitely Death Canyon, like Static Peak Divide, and
Yeah.
like, that's some I think the best running in the Tetons. That was actually
Yeah.
so it was Trevor's first time in the Tetons.
Oh.
And I was so bummed not to take him up Death Canyon because I
Yeah.
was like, man, we're missing some of the best running. Like,
Yeah, right.
So,
But yeah, I think
some-
there's different routes up there that you can kind of start exploring and
Yeah.
brainstorming on.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have your backyard, the Wind Rivers, that you
I
can set
know.
all sorts of fun stuff on.
Dude, so I still would like to try to do the Wind River High Route FKT, but the other one I would like to do is, I guess people call it like the Wind River Crest, and that's like all on trail. That's like from Green River Lakes to Big Sandy opening, all on either like the Highline or Fremont Trail, and that's like. It's around 100K or a little more. Maybe it's 70 miles.
Wow.
But it's just nothing but single track.
Right.
And so that would be kind of a fun, like...
Single track, mosquitoes.
Single track of mosquitoes
Yeah.
and wet feet
Yeah.
for 70 miles.
Sounds like fun.
Man, you guys got me all excited.
Yeah.
September would be good. The bugs would be gone.
Yeah, they'd
Not
be
so wet.
less aggressive.
So that would be like a fun September project as well.
there you go.
I've thought
It's
about.
in your backyard, so you don't have to travel.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad.
Right.
Yeah. There's no shortage of fun things to do.
Yeah.
What's I know it's dependent on snow levels, but if you were to run in the Tetons, whether it's the Crest, the Cirque, getting back in there, Alaska Basin, Cascade Canyon, what's the best time of year? Is it fall?
Yeah.
Yeah?
September, like if you can get it with the colors, man, I'm a sucker for fall colors. I mean, I love all the spring and summer wildflowers, but
I'm a sucker for
but the fall colors get me, and I would, if you could like get late September, Trevor and I did like mid-October or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a little late. Some years that works, some years.
But I think it seems like it's trending towards that working more and more now.
Yeah. Yep. There's unfortunately some truth to that. But yeah, if you can get like mid-late September in the Tetons, it's just a paradise, and it's not too crowded. Like go there in like July and August, and it can be a bit. There's
overwhelming.
A lot of hikers. Like you go down like Cascade Canyon, and it's busy.
Yeah, a couple hundred people.
Yeah.
When we went down there, did you notice all the avalanche trees?
Oh yeah,
that was amazing.
Isn't that cool?
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, you can just see like the landscape changing there all the time. You can see like rock slides, and it's cool.
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed. I said, I didn't go up Paintbrush, and that's one thing I'd like to see up there. Now I'd probably cut out the Valley Trail since I've done that, and just kind of get back up in there a little bit more.
Paintbrush is great.
Yeah, we
not as many people.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I really like that divide up there. The Paintbrush divide is second to none.
Really?
I mean, you're in a sea of peaks. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So what's coming up for next year?
What's 2019 look like?
Well, I'm still working that all out. I think the one thing that I have firmly on the schedule so far is I think Leadville 100.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Say what?
I know,
We
right?
just talked about going where it's super remote. There's not a whole lot of people,
I know.
and you flip the switch.
Yep, that's different. Yeah, and that's a race that's like, I don't want to say it's been a bucket list race of mine, but it's sort of like always been something I've just kind of wanted to do a little bit, and and have that experience. And there's usually some good competition there, and it's high altitude. It's it's an interesting mix of lots of runnable terrain, but you got some hiking too, and so I'm actually really excited about it.
Are you do you feel pretty confident you're going to get in with the lottery system, or do you have a string or two you can pull?
I think I got a string or two I can pull. I think the folks at La Sportiva are going to get me in there.
Right
so
on.
I'm going to be working with them next year, so that'll be good. And then I actually forgot about this. I'm running the Dead Horse Ultra next month. The 50 miler.
Yeah, in Moab.
Yeah, in Moab, and that's like very much like that's a training race.
Right.
But that's like, I tend to like to do races that have like lots of hiking and technical stuff, and the Dead Horse Ultra is super runnable and fast, and so
you got to totally switch your style up for next year.
And
right?
so that's what I've been doing here this fall.
So you're going to be at Antelope Island in March then, right?
I thought about that. We'll see.
That's right along that line of where you're looking, though.
Yeah,
like for a type of race,
like you run really fast.
Yeah.
Yep, I've been looking at that. One other one, I don't know if I can work this out, but I've got my eye a little bit on the Canyons 100K in California.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
That looks like it'd be a good prep race for that.
Where's that one at?
So.
It's like on all like the Western States trails.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
100K of the Western States Trail,
yeah,
right?
pretty
Basically.
much. Yeah, and so I think that'd be just kind of
like
cool to check out that scene.
Like a May race.
But it's still got like 15,000 feet of climbing. I was surprised. So I don't know. That's kind of like tricky travel in the spring. I don't know if I can pull it off.
You're coaching still, right?
That's the plan at the moment.
Gotcha.
So
you are coaching. You say it's the plan at the moment.
At the moment.
She's like smiling.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm having. We'll see.
Well, by the time this show launches, I might be a coach.
Oh yeah. Where at?
Just a club team here in Utah.
Like U12.
They've been trying to get me for a little while, and I have a meeting today, which is Saturday.
Right.
It's like the final meeting, and I think I'm going to jump on it.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed coaching. My 6-year-old again, she's a freak.
Yeah.
She just like begs me to play soccer and stuff all the time. Like, so I volunteered to help coach a U12 girls team this fall. A friend of mine, she coaches a team, and asked if I would help out once a week, and I said, yeah, I'll help out once a week if my daughter can come and practice too.
Right, my 6-year-old.
So, my 6-year-old, right?
Yeah.
So she's coming and like banging shins with these 12-year-old girls, and she'll so we would like go on like every Wednesday. And she would wake up Thursday morning, and I'd be like, good morning. And she'd be like, ugh, only 6 more days till soccer. Oh, my gosh.
like she's upset it takes 6?
Yeah,
yes.
6. Like she can't believe she has to wait 6 more days. And it'd be like this every day until Wednesday, the following Wednesday.
Is it like a crescendo? It just builds this excitement level?
Pretty much.
Right?
And so it sort of hit me this fall, like, I'm going to have to coach like a U10 team here pretty soon.
See, mine'll be a U12, U13 boys team.
Yeah, and I really, really like coaching the high school girls, and I might have another year or two. I don't know, but at a certain point you have to make the decision. You're going to spend time with your own kids or someone else's kids.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And it sure does make spring training really
harder,
really hard.
Challenging,
really, really hard.
Yeah. And your wife runs.
She does.
She's a good runner.
Right? She does just fine herself.
Yeah.
She took second at Beaverhead 100K.
And that race is
legit.
Oh.
Yeah.
That course is hard.
So yeah, in the spring, if I'm training hard for like an earlier season race, and she's training, and I'm trying to coach soccer, it's
a bit much.
It's a bit much. It's like we can do it, but it doesn't feel super sustainable. So
okay, so we'll see you at Buffalo Run, right? That's locked down.
You both could run that.
Yeah. Well,
you got
care.
There's
problem.
Just what's funny with Buffalo Run, you just leave them there.
You do. There's so many just like
kids running around.
There's feral kids
everywhere. They can't get into trouble. You're on an island.
Yeah, they
where
can't get too
are they
far.
going?
Right. This is true. But they like to swim.
It's a long hike to get out to the water.
And it's so shallow you can't swim.
Yeah, and it's a bit smelly.
Or just bring a small inflatable pool next to the car.
Right. We'll just get like a custom giant pack and play.
There you go.
Just set that up.
There you go. Yeah, it's like Joel said. There's feral kids everywhere.
By
the end of the day, they're all picked up.
Yeah, they usually go home with the right parent eventually.
If not, they'll find a way.
That's in March, you said?
Yeah, it's in March.
There's 2 weekends. It's awesome.
I think it's the third Saturday in March.
Is it 50 mile or 50K?
They have both.
50K, 50 mile,
Do
and
50 mile.
I could do one of those, and I could still do the Canyons 100K the next month.
Oh, easy.
Well, isn't Canyons in May?
Yeah.
It's April. It's like late April.
Yeah,
okay.
You could easily. That's a month, and you could easily do it.
Okay.
Yeah. And have you run on the island, Antelope Island?
No, I haven't.
Okay, you gotta go.
You gotta go. It's such a cool experience. It really is.
Okay.
What about your wife? Does she have races next year?
No, she's super indecisive.
Do we need to help her out?
So that's what you need to do. You need to gobble your races up.
Some days she's like, I don't think I'm going to race next year. I just might do adventures. And then she kind of wants to race. So I don't.
Yeah, we'll talk to her.
You need to gobble up your schedule so it's on there, right? And then she can, because if you wait for her to decide, then you have to decide.
I know, but
just say, here's where I'm racing. Done. No, you can pick around that.
I have to stay in her good graces, though. This is very important.
No, I understand.
Yeah, but see, if we help, then it's not you.
You can blame it on us.
Right.
We get a lot of hate mail from spouses. Yeah. We talk people into doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Men, women. Hey, you should run this, and then we get a spouse note.
But she was the winner of your Beaverhead contest.
Yes.
Yes. That was
that's
good.
right.
See, we are on her good side.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you are.
We got credit.
She trashed me pretty good there in your contest. You remember that?
Yeah, I do. It was awesome.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So she's on the air. You've got some stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have like a
Leadville?
Leadville, is that kind of like your big build-up thing? Or
maybe. I might be for the first time going over to Europe.
Dang it. That was my next question.
To do the Lavaredo Ultra.
Oh. That's in Italy, right? What time of year is that?
That's in June.
Okay.
And that's like
You're gonna
120K or something.
Wait, when in June? Before your race?
It's the weekend after my race.
Oh, okay. That's perfect time.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
If you
won't be stressed before it.
Yeah, pre-registration for that closes today. So I think I'm going to get in.
I got my laptop
another
right
Sportiva
here.
race.
I got my laptop right here.
If you need to hurry and do it.
I got my pre-registration, and I just got to make sure I can financially make it happen.
Yeah, right. The flights and all that stuff.
I think we just need to get a hold of La Sportiva, Spring Energy.
Yeah.
Tumble.
Didn't we understand that the people that own Spring Energy are from Poland, so they might have connections in Europe?
It's all
right?
the same. Poland and Italy are pretty much the same.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean
they both were run by fascists at one time.
Yeah. See, there's always a link somewhere. We can find these.
You guys are brilliant.
We try to be. We try to help out.
So I'm hoping, and so then what I think we'd do, and this is all very tentative. I'm not sure if I'm hoping it'll happen, but then just Jenny and I would go, and I think she would try to run the 20K. They have like a sky race there.
Yeah,
nice. As well. And then I would do the ultra, and
then take your kids to Antelope Island and leave them there while you're there.
Yeah,
enjoy a bunch of wine and go find my kids wherever we left them. And
that sounds like a good plan.
So we'll see.
You guys need that, both of you.
We do need that. It's true. We don't have like.
Then you don't have to worry about staying at a place with a pool, so your kids can swim.
Yes, we know how much you like swimming.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm not doing the picnic. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Still got his swim cap on during the podcast from last night. He forgot he had it on, and so early. So So yeah, your sponsors. Let's talk about that a little bit because I think that's important.
Changed up some.
That changed up a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So who have you had? I guess right.
So last year I had some help from Solomon, a little bit of help from Mark Terex, from Honey Stinger folks were real good to me, and Scratch Labs. I worked with Jewel Bow a little bit last year. I've changed things up a lot. I'll still be partnered with Jewel Bow, but I'll be running with La Sportiva in 2019.
Right.
And with Spring Energy. I'm really excited about both those changes.
Yeah.
If you haven't tried Spring Energy yet, this stuff's unbelievable.
It is.
It is.
I haven't tried it.
Oh, it's so
I should have
good.
brought you some.
Yeah, you should. Hey, me too,
I know,
man.
Eric's
I
all
love
over it.
that stuff.
I'm like on the fence.
Not super sweet.
Yeah,
like,
that's good.
Easy texture to get down. I tried I tried it a little bit after Wasatch when my stomach gave me such a heck of a time at Wasatch, and so I was like, I have to find something different. And so I tried it a little bit, and then I tried fueling all of Teton Crest just on Spring, and that is literally all I ate. And I was like,
you're good
able
to go.
to crush that finish. And I've never felt so energized at the end of a long run. So that was, I finished that run, and I was like, oh yeah. I'm all in on Spring.
What is it, the canterbury, the sage
Yeah,
flavor?
so
That's
good.
pretty
The
legit,
strawberry
right?
one?
Yeah,
So good.
and I'm not a strawberry guy, but that tastes good.
I like all of them.
The mango's still my favorite.
Mango, it tastes like a mojito.
Yeah, I
It's
try
so
to keep
good.
one in my wallet for special occasions. They're so good, man.
Definitely, it's got the little minty aftertaste.
Yeah.
Even their the drink. Have you had the electrolyte?
I haven't.
Oh, it tastes like an apple-y ginger ale. Like it's really good. Like the first
I like
ingredient's
ginger
apple
ale.
juice.
Yeah.
And there's like ginger in it and sea salt and
Okay.
I'm a fan.
I'll give it a shot.
Those guys have been awesome. Just got on with them, so I'm excited about that.
Right, and then you have some local sponsors, right?
Yeah, and then Speed Goat Coffee Roasting Lander is gonna be working with.
So
work with me.
do they have a coffee shop there?
Not a coffee shop, but
Okay.
he does delivery. The guy who does it, he's got this whole.
So he'll
amazing
bring
roasting
me
Some beans?
some fresh coffee.
Yeah, he'll deliver to Ogden, I'm sure.
Yeah,
It's not too far.
yeah. You said delivery.
But no, you can order from the website. I think it's speedgoatcoffeeroasting.com.
Okay.
I think.
Do they plan to open a shop there?
I
Coffee
don't
shop?
know. That's a good question. But they're gonna be at 6 Canyon Rough and Tumble, and you can order online from them. But some of the best coffee I've ever had for sure. Highly recommend them. Give them a try. And then if you want to try Spring Energy, if you can use the coupon code GABE GABE at checkout, you get 10% off your order there. So
May or may not be a capital G. So try it.
yeah,
either way.
Give it a
try
little
the
both.
capital G. I don't know
Yeah.
if it matters.
Yeah.
I haven't
Or
tried my own coupon code.
The inventor of trail running will work too, I think.
yeah, I'm sure that works.
Yeah,
fine.
all one word.
Quadzilla.
Yeah,
Quadzilla,
yeah. The crasher. The crasher.
Yeah, and then I partner with a local physical therapy place too, Wind River Physical Therapy. They're
Right.
awesome. They've been dry needling my hamstrings all the time while I was fast running. I've been doing.
Oh my gosh.
And,
That's
they're good
so awkward.
It's so awkward, but like they're good at it. It's not
Yeah.
so bad.
Do they put the electrodes on there? Have you had that? Where they
no,
do that? Yeah.
not with the dry needling.
That's a different ballgame.
I
I had some of that in my quad last week. That's a little funky.
They hook you
Yeah.
up to electricity.
Yeah, they're like
Ask you what your-
probing around, looking for that
The spot.
that spot, and they get the spot, and then they hook up this little current from one needle to the next, and your muscles jumping around, funky.
they had my muscles doing some crazy stuff,
Yeah.
like getting the whole twitch with the dry needle thing.
Yes,
like
yeah,
the whole
when
thing
it,
just
when it grabs onto the needle
Yeah,
and then
like-
it lets go.
Oh, crazy! No, they've actually been really huge. Like I was pretty down and out after Bighorn when I went running that with my messed up ankle.
Yeah.
And then all the rest of like July for a while, I would just like it felt like I re-sprained my ankle almost every run I went on. Like it was really frustrating, and I probably wasn't getting enough time to heal and stuff.
Really?
But yeah, really, right?
I kept running on it, and it just wouldn't heal.
I don't know why this wouldn't heal.
Took 2 days off and iced it once.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not taping it either.
Yeah. I had a day off at least. But the main guy there, Ty Francis, he's a pretty experienced runner himself, and so he helped me out a lot with like getting my joint to work right, and that was part of what motivated me to try Sportiva shoes. They really seem to stabilize my ankle well, and like I don't seem to roll my ankle in them.
Right on.
Knock on wood.
Which one do you wear? Which is your La Sportiva go-to?
Ah, gosh, I like a lot of them, but my two favorites have been the Helios SR.
Okay.
And I really like the low drop on those, and you can they don't have much protection. So if you like a thick rock plate, you won't enjoy them. But if you like to feel the trail and like a little bit of cushion, low drop, like they're hands down my favorite shoe. I couldn't wear them for 100 miles though. I wore the Lycans, my other favorite.
Oh, the new one that just came out.
Yeah, that one's been
I
around
wore
for a long
those
time.
for
The
all
Lycan?
of Wasatch.
I think it came out this year, right?
Yeah, new this year.
Really?
Yeah, that was one of their new
They're
ones
incredible.
for this
Oh,
year.
I
the
wore them-
Wildcat.
The Wildcat's been around for
That's
a long time.
been
They've been around.
That's the one's been around. For
Yeah.
a long
I wore the
time.
Lycan though from start to finish at Wasatch. I never retied them. I never did anything. I didn't have a blister. I had all my toenails for the first time after 100.
Yeah.
They were,
But you still got lost.
you still got lost.
Yeah, they don't have
Yeah,
navigation.
They don't have that function yet.
Yeah, I should talk to those guys about that. I would
Can you
like
put
GPS
navigation in the
they
toe
could,
top?
Like vibrate if you get off trail or something like that.
Good idea. See, that's a good idea. You can
Send shock
pre-program
up your leg.
pre-program it into the shoe.
It's like your, the electric fence.
Dry needle
Ooh,
your
if
foot.
you're coming up to a right turn, little right buzz,
Yeah.
Oh, there
left
we
buzz,
go.
Come
the
on.
right turn.
They need
Where's
a
the
partner
technology when you
like,
need it?
See, we
a
always
watch
have good
company.
idea.
See, that's what we do here.
This is good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think dry needling came, like hooking up to electrodes came from us too. Because I think I remember talking about being hooked up to a car battery once with jumper cables.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that happened to me once. My chest was sore, so they just slapped them onto my nipples and
Slapped
zapped me.
them on.
Perfect.
So I think that's where that came from. So
perfect.
we invent all kinds of stuff. You might have got trail running, but we've crushed it in other
Have you heard of
sports,
trail
in other
running? I
areas.
invented that.
Yeah,
Right.
we've got other things dialed in.
So you still partnering up with a little Ty Draney for some coaching?
Yeah, I think so. He started telling me that I know enough that I should do some of my own training now.
Yeah, right. He's tired of coaching.
It's
Yeah,
like, just take my money, Ty.
but I can see it on your end, being like, dude, I don't want to think. Just send me my plan.
Yeah, that's
Right.
that's kind of it. And because I like to not think about it, but yeah, I don't trust myself to do all my own training. I get to be a little bit of a head case, so I will definitely keep working with Ty in some
Right.
capacity.
That's
And actually, him and I have been talking about doing a little adventure in January.
Be careful with Ty. He's crazy.
I know.
Yeah,
Well,
that-
things have escalated. It started out by doing like, let's do a winter run. And then let's do a winter run in Yellowstone. And then we picked this 40-mile route. And then someone else told me, well, you can run the Grand Loop, the loop in the middle of the park, and that's like almost exactly 100 miles. And we're like,
And then he's
Sounds cool.
sending you schematics on how to build a sled.
yeah, well,
Yeah, exactly, right.
So
You gotta tow a
we're
sled.
talking about maybe in January taking one of the snow coaches into Old Faithful.
Yeah.
And then running the Grand Loop, which is I think it's 100 or just under. It's just kind of like a fun adventure, just something to do in the cold. I don't know.
We'll follow you around on a snowmobile.
That'll be like brutal cold.
Could you crew us? That'd be great.
I'll jump on a sled and we'll crew you.
It can be cold. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Do
tried
some ice fishing.
skiing that route a couple years ago.
Did ya?
and it was
Is this
cold.
all on snow coach trails and snowmobile
Yeah,
trails?
you know,
Okay.
which it's on the park roads, which
Yeah.
they groom for snowmobiles, but you know, in the winter it's all backcountry. You know,
Yeah.
it's pretty desolate there in the middle of winter, and depending if the conditions are right, it's actually like pretty okay running if the road's firm.
Yeah.
You know, if there's fresh snow or whatever, it could be
Mashed potatoes. For 100 miles.
challenging to say the least. But
Yeah.
it's so beautiful there in the winter. It's
Right.
It's totally different than summer. Completely
Yeah.
different experience. If you've never been to Yellowstone in the winter, I highly recommend it.
A lot less bears to worry about.
A lot less bears.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't seen that many bears.
You can get a lot more
Your
selfies
time's
with
coming.
bears
My
in the
time's
winter.
coming, yeah.
Your time's coming.
I think I have a deal with the bears.
I
don't
hope
know.
you do.
Yeah.
They're,
So far,
there-
so good.
There's so many more now. So speaking of winter running, is there a new winter race coming out of Pinedale now?
Yes, I've been eyeing that up. It's called the Drift.
I've seen
Yeah.
that.
And so they were gonna have 100, but they don't. They didn't get I don't think they got their permit.
Okay.
So they had a 28-mile run last year.
Right.
And they're having the 28-mile run again this year.
Okay, and that's just one big loop, I
It's
think,
just one
right?
big loop. It's
Yeah.
super cool though. It takes you up like kind of surprisingly higher up in the winds.
Right.
For
For that time of year.
that time of year.
And I've seen it on Ultra Sign Up. What month is it?
Is it
March?
early March, I think?
I think
Wow.
it's Marchish, yeah.
Which is very much still winter. There's nothing spring about it.
yeah.
And so I've kind of eyed that up potentially. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll.
It's
We'll
just
see.
close to your house. That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah. If I end up doing that big
Close-ish.
run with Ty in Yellowstone, that might be enough snow running.
True.
Or prime you.
Yeah.
Or there you go. I don't know. Yeah, I get big eyes though, and I pick.
Gotcha.
more
We
things
get
than-
that too.
Yeah.
Rarely. Ours usually gets big eyes when we walk into a running store or some sort.
Or ice cream
Right.
shop.
Oh, yeah.
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 Coffee shop, as we
Coffee
got
shop.
like
Oh,
6
yeah.
mugs on
Yeah,
the table
we
here.
got a lot of.
And I'm going to give a quick.
Yep.
We paid
Do
for
it.
our food, but Stokes Roasters here on Main Street, amazing coffee.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
But we all three went with the Matcha Goddess
Yes.
drink, and
It's
honestly,
awesome.
that's one of the best drinks I've ever tasted.
Mm-hmm.
It's green, It looks a little spooky.
Like Shrek waist.
Yeah, it totally does, especially when you look around the rim when you're done.
Yeah,
but it's super good.
Super good.
I absolutely recommend this place in Park City if you have not been here. They opened up a little bit early for us so we could be here.
Right.
And, man, it's legit. So just throwing that out there. Thanks to Stoked Roasters Coffee House here in Park City. So 2019, you're still kind of up in the air with some stuff, but Leadville, you're thinking is going to be
Leadville, I think that's happening.
Lavaredo, probably.
I hope so.
50-50.
50-50.
Yeah.
I might have to have, my kids do a lemonade.
70-30.
Like
70-30. Let's go 70-30.
70-30.
That'll push you
like
a little
70-30.
farther.
Yeah.
70-30.
70-30. Yeah.
And then some adventure runs later in the summer. Sounds like.
Yeah, probably. That's just too fun. And I'll put my name in the Hard Rock Lottery for sure.
Oh.
And see.
Gotcha.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Well,
That'll
my odds
cool.
are decent.
Yeah.
I'm in
You're in the Else
pool or whatever.
Yeah.
So I want to say last year I had roughly a 20% chance and I didn't get in, but so it should go up from there theoretically. So
you got 22% this year.
22%.
That's
you can dream at 22%, you know?
Yeah.
A boy can dream.
Well, yeah.
A lot of my life's built on 22%. so I'm telling you, it's not a bad place to float.
That'd be a strong IPA for you, 22%.
Oh my goodness.
Good heavens, that's not an IPA. That's a NyQuil for me. That's a sleep aid.
That's what's that, the quadruple IPA?
There was a guy who,
man.
I think he came from Chicago and ran Rough and Tumble. And as a thank you, he gave us a big bag of beer.
Did you say a big bag?
A big bag of beer, and it was like these different, I think, pint cans of different IPAs.
That's awesome.
And
I love
one of them was like I want to say it was like a 12 or 13% IPA.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I couldn't drink it. It was like a regular gluten-full IPA. And so we went to, before school started, the high school Jenny teaches that had their staff picnic.
Yeah.
And we went to that, and Jenny brought her 13% IPA and didn't realize how strong it was.
Shared it with all the teachers. They got greased up.
So now she can't go to the teacher's lounge anymore.
Exactly.
Walking around with a 13% pint of IPA at a teacher party for the first day of school. That's pretty fun.
That's awesome. That's so
Everyone's
cool.
like, wow, you know how to party.
Yeah, we love, like you said, we love when our guests bring us beer and cheese and stuff and coffee or, whatever they can bring us when we, sit down.
I know. I meant to bring you some speed. I'll send you some Speed Goat coffee.
We love throwing that in there. No, it's just funny. Because it is, like Jim's race at Antelope Island, people bring him beer. I think it's really cool.
It's super cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat because it's, like even at El Vaquero that I'll be running this year, putting something together. It's like we might have a beer exchange this year.
Oh, that's a good idea.
There's a lot of people that come from all over.
I really want to do Vaquero one of these years.
You've never done that one?
I've never done
What?
it.
Man,
I was
wrong.
Jenny
with
did
that.
it, so I crewed it and stuff. But
Yeah, that's true.
It probably won't really work if I'm doing Leadville. They're kind of close together.
Just don't.
Maybe.
Come on.
Taper up, right?
Just go.
That's right,
Just
taper up.
Tape your ankle, get some dry needling, hook some jumper cables up. And it'll be
My
good.
ankle's a lot better now, though. My goal is to not sprain it for a whole year. See if I can do it.
Wow, I like your setting of goals.
Yeah. There you go. So I haven't sprained it since July.
It's been a while.
That's pretty
You
good.
got one coming.
That's one of the longer stretches.
So
for me.
but you're pretty. Are you fairly injury free though, or are you prone to certain things?
If not, I got one or two things you can
You can
just
borrow
have.
stuff.
You know,
just
it
have.
seems like I just always get some stupid little thing here and there, and cracked rib. Oh man, I tore some ligaments in my hand at Wasatch. That's the only thing that happened.
That's right. I saw that.
It was horrible, man. It's almost better. I can move it. It's still there's still some swelling and stuff, but it was just the most innocuous fall. You just trip and take a little bit of a digger. And
I thought you had a hard time taking a tab off a gel.
And put my hand out to catch my fall, and there was a log that had been across the trail but had been cleared,
Right.
And so still a stump of wood sticking on the trail.
Oh.
And
Caught your finger on
my
that.
my pinky and my ring finger caught the side of that, and the rest of the hand didn't. And so all my weight went forward, and those two fingers went back on the log, and it just pulled everything in every weird which direction. And so I had no left hand for Wasatch, which shouldn't be a big deal for running, right? But when you're trying to open food and drinks and stuff like that, it was obnoxious.
And you got basically the lobster at that point.
Yeah,
the
because
lobster craw.
I could use my thumb, right?
Yeah,
It was like lobster.
Thumb and pointer.
That's all I could use.
But buddy tape the 4, right? So
it's like a
doing
mitten.
this number.
That was pretty much how it went. And I didn't end up buddy taping it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe I should have.
Yeah.
But it was hard to
Full on Kermit
to
the Frog
eat and drink and changed layers and
tire shoes.
Every time
You didn't need to, so that's good.
Very fortunate.
Right.
But yeah, so I've had some stupid injuries this year. Nothing severe or anything like that, but I'll be all right.
Well, it sounds like you got a good plan for 2019.
Yeah, it's developing, so I'm sure it'll.
Well, if you need any more clarification, we're always free to talk.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, we've got a service.
Yeah.
We'll send you an invoice. But people
like
ask us questions all the time.
That is a great idea.
Yeah, if people need advice, little help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
We got a card. We'll give it to you.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'll be in touch.
We don't have a website for that. It's more of under the radar thing.
It's underground.
Yeah, we're trying to stay away from the IRS on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Good thinking.
But yeah, that was a pretty good year though for you. I mean, 300s is tough anyway. You did well at them, and they were all kind of different, right?
Yeah,
Pacific
all
Northwest
mountainy,
and mud, and then
dry heat, rain. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Then capped it off with the Tetons.
That's a great way to.
Good. That was super fun.
Yeah. And now you get to go to Dead Horse.
Yeah.
And run super fast.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm actually really intimidated for that.
Yeah.
I'm way more scared for a fast 50 than 100.
Well, the weather.
It'll probably be good.
Yeah, it'll probably be good.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Warmer than Wyoming. Probably.
Yeah.
That's not hard though.
Yeah, that's not hard.
Wyoming's a little chilly.
It'll just be a lot of running. And, But it definitely it'll be. I picked that one just to kind of be a challenge to see can I run at a decent pace for 50 miles.
Right.
We'll find out. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned to Is He Fast?
Yeah.
So well, right on. Thanks for joining us. Came all the way from Lander. I'm glad this worked out.
Thanks for having me.
Had some good coffee. Had some great matcha goddess.
Yes.
Which I'm going to take a picture of. And
almost starting to shake. Not quite yet. It's a lot of caffeine.
You need to take some of that banana nut bread like Joel had.
Yeah.
To kind of soak all that caffeine, right?
Yeah.
Soak all that moisture up. But yeah, thanks again for being on the show again. We'll put some links in there for Rough and Tumble, some other things in there. But yeah, good luck in 2019.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
If you or your wife need some help on recommendations, we're here for you.
Okay.
And I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks, Stoked Roasters Coffee House on Main Street in Park City for having us. And we'll be back next week for another show. Thanks, Gabe.
All right.
And enjoy your day swimming in the pool.
Thanks so much, guys.
All right. Thank you for listening to the Trail Manners Podcast. We'd like to thank Gabe Joyes for taking the time to join us once again. We also would like to encourage everybody to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Trail Manners, or swing by the website at trailmanners.com. There you can check out our other podcasts, and also hit us up on the contact page. Let us know what you want to see, who you want to hear, or if you would like to be on the show. Until next time, this is Eric Manning with Joel Hatch reminding you, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Now go get it.